afternoon from Los Angeles, and welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the charts of Target, Burlington Stores, and EPAM systems. But first, let's take a look at those major indexes. And of course, it's Alyssa Coram here. I'm joined today by Ken Shreve. And Ken, it was a pretty quiet day across the board. We finished roughly flat, but we're still holding near highs.
Yeah, I mean, considering we had a pretty nasty reversal in Dow component Walmart and a big sell-off in shares of Cisco in the Dow, both on earnings reports, it was a pretty constructive performance for the stock indexes. We have the Nasdaq just holding just underneath the 8,500 level. That's looks like a resistance level for now, but as I mentioned in yesterday's big picture column, I think there's still a lot of reasons to be optimistic about this, uptrend that we're in, and a lot of great action in individual stocks, and resilient performance again for the market. Yeah,
that's right. And there are some out there, though, however, who are getting a little more defensive now that we are back at highs. But the IBD strategy really advocates looking in real time at what the market is telling you. So until we get more distribution, that is, heavier selling days, the bull case is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, the distribution day count currently in the big picture is very light, and even the days that are in the count right now are very modest declines. So even if we get one or two heavy volume sell-offs in coming days or weeks, it's going to take more than that to really
until that really piles up.
And you're also going to need to see a lot of unequivocal sell signals in leading growth stocks, and with breakouts still working and stocks holding gains after breakouts. The action in leading stocks still looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's take a look at a few individual names, starting off with Target. Those shares gained over 2% today, retaking its 50-day moving average, and Target is set to issue its quarterly report next week. Now, you mentioned group peer Walmart reversing lower after issuing its quarterly report, but Target moving up nicely today.
Yeah, I mean, hard to explain the selling in Walmart, but it's an industry group peer of Target. But earnings were better than expected at Walmart, and same-store sales was solid. Investments in digital still going well. So we're probably going to hear a similar story from Target next week, along with a bunch of other retailers that are scheduled to report. But really like the way Target is trading here, right at its 50-day moving average. You can see way back in the chart a big bullish gap up. That was the last time the stock reported earnings, and I think the stock was up something like 18, 19, 20% in one day. Again, just investments in digital and all sorts of new initiatives paying off at Target. So stock acting well ahead of earnings, and just wanted to give it a shout out today.
All right, and then in terms of how investors should be handling this stock, say they missed that big move up on the last quarterly earnings report. Now with earnings next week, do we look for that catalyst for earnings again as the chance to get in?
Yeah, I mean, this is a stock that's acting perfectly fine after the gap up. You can see it gapped up and held those gains and trended slightly higher, and now it's just paying a visit to its 50-day moving average. So we took a look at Target as a possible call option trade in the earnings preview column, which is going to publish tomorrow, and it's just a good candidate for a call option trade here. If you don't want to buy a bullish option, you can just see how the stock responds to earnings, because you could just get a good solid bounce with conviction off the 50-day in heavy volume, and the stock would be buyable there.
That's right. And elsewhere in the retail space, Burlington Stores is set to issue its quarterly earnings report week after next, I believe, and it's holding in a base pattern, Ken, about 3% below potential buy point.
Yeah, nice day of outperformance for Burlington Stores. You can see another stock that's trading near its 50-day moving average, and a nice bounce off the line today. So this is a pretty clear flat base, nice contained pullback, only 10% from the high in the base to the low in the base. That's pretty contained, just what you want to see for a flat base. And the buy point here is 209.46. So like I said, busy week next week for retail earnings, and Burlington, I believe, is the week after. So lots of retail happening.
That's definitely right. And last but not least, we want to check in on the chart of EPAM Systems, which gained over 3% today in above average turnover, extending its gains after a recent gap up in earnings, and it's now well into a buy zone.
Yeah, recent price gains and above average volume, that points to at least some institutional buying, and that's what you want to see when a stock is in the early stages of a breakout. You can see, what is that, 3 up days in a row?
4, yeah.
Yeah, and just a nice breakout over a 201.10 entry. So this definitely finished the session still in buy range, still in that 5% buy zone, and this is just a solid technology name, provider of tech services, and yet another breakout, upside breakout that's looking pretty good so far.
Yep, that's right. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. We do, though, want to check in on a couple of stocks issuing their quarterly reports after the close. Applied Materials is currently up over 4% in the after-hours session after beating earnings and sales views. So here's a look at the chart where it closed the regular session today. So if it's able to hold these gains into tomorrow, could be well into a new high.
Yeah, and this stock was talked about in IBD Live this morning because it was just trading right around a 3 weeks tight entry. There was a nice breakout here over a 52.52 buy point. The stock rose from that entry, and then it traded tightly, flashed a few tight weekly closes. And so this one could be actionable in the morning if these aftermarket gains hold.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like we're still waiting on the report from NVIDIA, but that's definitely another one that investors are keeping a close eye
on.
Yeah,
leaderboard stock that has been on the leaders list for a little while, and after a breakout from a bottoming base, but we really like the price action in NVIDIA post-breakout, so hopefully they'll have similar news and that Applied Materials had.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you guys will definitely be talking about both of these on IBD Live come tomorrow morning.
No question. Investors.com/IBD Live, right?
Yep, that's right. Make sure you check that out, guys. Also, make sure to check out our latest episode of the Investing with IBD podcast, which is out now. You can go to investors.com/podcast for that. Arusha sits down with a financial advisor for high net worth clients, and you'll get a look at what he is doing now, given the current market conditions. And we also want to let you know that we will be having our last ever CanSlim Masters program coming up the weekend of December 14th and 15th out here in LA. It's a really great program, but this is the last year that we're doing, and it's going to be a very special year as well. So make sure you go check that out at investors.com/masters. What do you say, Ken?
I say it's going to be a great event. I will be there, so hope to see you all there.
Sounds good, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.